how are you impacting people in positive ways, whether you realize it or not? So let's get into the group selection. I've got a blue theme going on today. I even chose blue oracle cards for today. So let's take a closer look at your options now. For group 1, we are using the Mystical Cats Tarot, and we have this piece of red jasper. For group 2, we're using the Everyday Witch Tarot, and we have this piece of citrine. For group 3, we're using the Kawaii Tarot, and we have this tangerine quartz. For group 4, we're using the Fairy Tale Tarot, and we have this piece of carnelian. Okay, so take your time choosing if you need to, and I will meet you in your reading. Hi, group 1. Welcome to your reading. We're using the Mystical Cats Tarot today, and you chose this piece of red jasper. As a reminder, what we're looking at today is how you positively affect or impact other people. So we'll look at strangers and we'll look at people you know, and we'll start with sort of an energy check and look at how you perceive yourself, your impact on others, or yourself socially. And then we'll look at a few oracle cards and see maybe what else people love about you, or what else you do for people, or what else you need to know. So let's do a quick shuffle and we'll get straight into it. Okay, so let's take a look at how you perceive yourself socially or perceive your impact on other people. We have the moon. We have the Two of Earth. And we have the cat, which is the Fool. So, I kind of feel like this group feels a little bit like they might be a loner, or that they may not have a huge impact on other people because you sort of stick to yourself, or you feel like with this moon, it kind of feels like you think you come off weird or different from other people, or you feel very different from other people. And I'm getting that with this Two of Earth too. And even, with the Fool too, there's this feeling that you feel a little different, or you feel a little odd or unique, or like people maybe wouldn't accept you, or even if they do, you kind of feel this way, and you feel sort of, lonerish a little bit. So I wonder if in public you kind of stick to yourself, or you don't really engage with strangers a lot, or you kind of are like lost in your head a little bit when you're in public. I think that you think that you are perceived as a little odd or weird or strange, or you kind of get so lost in your head or in your imagination that you're not necessarily paying a lot of attention to the other people around you, or you think you seem this way, like you seem like you're unapproachable, or you feel like people don't come up to you a lot or something like that. And this doesn't necessarily I don't feel like a lot of anxiety here. I don't necessarily feel like this bothers you a lot. Like it might a little bit, but I don't think that it's necessarily a huge thing. Like I think that you actually feel very comfortable on your own, whether that is in public or at home. But I also get the sense that for some of you, if this is relating so far, you also maybe don't venture into spaces that have a lot of people because that isn't really in your comfort zone or what you want to be doing. That's certainly not a problem at all. Because you seem to have like an imagination where not only do you have a good imagination, which is a wonderful quality to have, but when you are able to be with yourself and your own thoughts and things like that, you're able to kind of get lost in imagination or get lost in thought or maybe solve problems. Yeah, I really get the sense that you like to have alone time and time that is quiet and just with yourself. And so this seems to be coming through in particular with this reading because you may feel like you don't really have an impact or an effect on other people, positive or negative, because you may think that you sort of just keep to yourself or people think you're weird or something like that. And, I really don't sense like that much awkwardness. So it just may be a thought that you have or a feeling that you have. And you may not really feel the need to interact a ton with other people. Or even if you do in some parts of your life, you may have a preference or an enjoyment of your time alone or your time with those few people that accept you for how you are. But I also think that for some of you, you don't really feel fully accepted by other people or by society or even the people that you're close to. And you may accept yourself. And so your relationship with yourself may be the most important. And so you may think that the effect that you have is primarily on yourself, because I think that you do really love aspects of yourself. You love being with yourself. You love your mind and the way that you can think and imagine and dream things up. And you may feel like a stronger connection with nature than with people, or with animals than with people. Or you may like to spend more time considering problems and how to fix them and that kind of stuff than thinking about your relationships with people. Or, if you're thinking about your impact in the world, you may think that your impact has more to do with the things that you are good at that don't necessarily have to do with other people, but maybe you think that they benefit from them because, say, you are a good gardener. And so people benefit from your beautiful yard or the vegetables that you grow or the knowledge that you have in this area that maybe you share on a forum online. Or you may think people benefit from the work that you do or things like that, but that it is sort of an indirect benefit in a way because, it's like what you do that maybe benefits others or the knowledge that you give, but there's a distance somehow where it doesn't feel like if you are sharing knowledge about something that you are good at or that you love, it's almost like I'm seeing you sharing it like online versus, or in like a book versus like face to face with somebody. So I wonder if you feel a distance in some way. And I feel that you are probably quite introverted because of this energy. And honestly, your relationship with yourself has such a comforting feeling to me. It feels quiet in the sense that you're probably not talking out loud to yourself a lot. A lot of your time with yourself is internal and quiet. But I feel that you think a lot. And so you have a lot of ideas, you're thinking things through, and it doesn't feel like overthinking to me. I think that happens sometimes, or there may be anxiety sometimes or overanalyzing, but I actually think that you think a lot in a way that feels good and, lifts you up. I feel like it's a great joy in your life. Okay, so let's take a look at how do you or have you positively affected strangers? The priestess, which is the high priestess. The hermit. And the sun. A lot of major arcana here. So I think that even if you don't believe you have a strong effect on others, there does seem to be an impact here. There is a slowness to your energy. I think that you really take your time in a lot of ways. You may have, you may not feel patient, but you come across very patient. You have a patient seeming energy. And I think that in some way you have taught people patience. And it's interesting that we're looking at strangers because usually you have a shorter, duration of time that you are spending with them. So I wonder if when people encounter you, there is something about the way that you are with them or the way that they observe you to be that allows their energy to slow down, that reminds them of patience, whether you say anything or not. I think that you might have a physical appearance that where your face maybe appears very calm, maybe you move slowly, or there is something about you that is sort of quiet and slow. And yeah, kind of like relaxed. Like, I think that it calms people down to even look at you for some reason. Like I'm seeing right now, like you're taking a walk through nature and the people that see you as they walk by, they just feel like, oh, that person is so calm. And it sort of slows them down and allows them to break out of like their overthinking, their overanalyzing, their rush to get somewhere or to figure something out. It's, yeah, I think even when you don't talk to people and people just pass by you, there is something about the way you look, your expression, the way that you move, the way that your energy feels that helps other people slow down and remember to slow down. And yeah, again, I'm just getting that you seem to have a greater impact on people than you realize, on people that you don't even know. There's something very beautiful about your energy. Some of you may dress very beautifully, or you may dress uniquely in some way, or your appearance in some way is unique. Like you may not feel like you're that interesting or that unique, but maybe your features are sort of unique, or the way that you walk or the way that you move. Something about you does draw some attention. And it seems like, again, it's people sort of have this strange admiration for you as you pass by, or the way that you are, like if you're at the store and they hear you, like they're in your way or something, and just the way that you briefly interact, there's a calmness to your energy that gets passed along to them. Yeah, you really seem to remind people to slow down, to be quiet, to go internally because of the way that you are, without even having to explain these things to another person or verbally remind people of things. Literally looking at you and being near or in your energy allows people to remember these aspects of themselves, to tune into themselves again, to tune into their intuition, to be present with themselves, to be present with what is happening in life, and to find enjoyment in the present moment. I wonder if you feel like, even though, if this is your group, of course, you would know this by now, but even if you feel like maybe it's internally more chaotic than I'm describing, I think that you're actually calmer than a lot of people internally, and that this impact flows to people in ways that you don't even intend it to. But I think that for a lot of you, you know that you have a calm, quieter energy than the average person. And you're very aware of that about yourself. And it's something that you love about yourself, and that you may have always had, or maybe your energy has calmed and quieted over time as you have either started to get older, or because you have done so much work on yourself, or you have spent so much time alone, whether or not you wanted to, that you really came home to yourself in some way that I think would benefit anyone to do, and that is really beneficial for the soul, and like your literal presence around people, even if it's a moment, has a calming effect on them. It's like your anti-anxiety. And, with the first cards, I do wonder if, again, you sometimes think that you're like kind of odd, or you come across that way. And I do think in a way that's true, but the way that I think that's true is that your energy is like literally calmer or quieter or more in tune or intuitive or again, you may look unique in some way that does draw some attention. And I wonder sometimes when people look at you, your first thought may be that they're judging you or that they think something is weird about you or something, because I don't know if like in the past that was the case. Like maybe when you were a kid, people made fun of you or something like that. But what I'm seeing is the reason people look at you and pay attention to you sometimes is because they are sensing this in your energy. And it's actually, it may be surprise because you don't encounter this with everyone you pass. It may be because they are kind of admiring something about your appearance, because I think if there is something a little different about the way that you look, it's not that people are judging it for the most part. It's actually that people are admiring it. That's the feeling that I'm getting as I step into these people looking at you. There's just intrigue, a little bit of intrigue, or like, look at that person. And like, there's just really something lovely about this energy, and your energy is really, really lovely to spend time with. It's very calming for me actually. And it feels like your anti-anxiety medication or something. Like, the flow that you have within you flows through other people's energy. And for a moment, they are calm. And for some reason, some emotion is coming. I wonder if you could put yourself in other people's shoes that are in your vicinity, and you could see and feel what they see and feel around you. I think that you would feel a little bit emotional because you would realize the positive impact that you have in these ways that seem so small, but you just literally being you and walking through the world and doing what you do. I keep seeing you in a grocery store, like picking up a bag of peas or like something, like you're doing the most basic human things. You're running an errand, you're walking at the park, and you're impacting people. And you have no idea how many people, because I'm seeing so many people. I'm getting like hundreds of people, maybe thousands of people have been impacted by your energy. I think that you are tuned in. I want to say spiritually, but you may or may not relate to that, but you are tuned into yourself. And a lot of people are not. You know, they may think they are, but like you have actually done whatever it takes, or maybe it came naturally, but you are tuned into yourself, like more of your true self than the average person. And so, it really seems to impact other people's energy, like you existing the way that you are. Let's look at how you affect or have affected people that you know, whether they are close to you or not. Four of Sky, which would be the Four of Swords. Fire Queen, which would be the Queen of Wands. And we have the Seven of Earth, which would be the Seven of Pentacles. The first thing that I am getting with these cards is that you have helped people find direction, or you have directed people toward, so either toward themselves, closer to themselves, or toward what is important, or toward their passions. So I think that it's very possible that some people here are teachers, mentors, even spiritual teachers. Some people here I have been seeing like writing books or sharing knowledge online. of course, that these things are not going to be for everybody, but there will be some people included here. It's possible that some people here are parents. I am seeing that the people that you know, whether you are really close to or not, so friends, coworkers, family, loved ones, people that are not just strangers in the, that you pass. These people you have helped them tap into their purpose, follow their dreams, their hopes, move toward what they are passionate about, reminded them what they are passionate about, whether you have meant to do that or not. You've helped bring creativity out of people. You've helped people see their own beauty and what they are good at. You've helped people, especially with this, what is it called, a weather vane? It's like people who did not know what to do. They were indecisive. They didn't know what direction to go. That kind of thing. Like, you've helped point them the way that they need to go. Like, you've pointed them to their true north. You've pointed them in a direction so that they can make a decision, so that they can go toward what is best for them. But also, for some of you, I really feel like you have helped people find themselves the way that you have found yourself. So you have helped people quiet down. You've helped them take the time and the space that they've needed to go within, to go into their shadows, into the depths of themselves, into the depths of what they want. And you've helped them move in a direction that, some of the things I've already said, you've helped them move into a direction toward their passions or toward what is right for them, but also toward themselves. You've helped people face their shadows and their dark sides in some way as well. And you've helped people to release the fear of going within, the fear of being with themselves, the fear of being quiet, the fear of being alone. Somehow you have helped people that face themselves and face their fears, and to release fear. And there are so many ways that this is showing up for me, and I don't want to list every single one, but I'm hoping that you will know what I'm talking about. And the people around you, the people that generally, I think that a lot of them are a lot more talkative than you are, possibly. They might have kind of more chaotic energy. That's not a bad thing. They may be more action oriented or all over the place, or they're very focused on the external or something like that. And your influence on them, similar to how you've influenced strangers, is to go within, to bring themselves back, to quiet down, to find the flow again, to go deep. With this Seven of Pentacles here, I get so many meanings when I pull this card, and currently it just feels like, we've got these roots here that go into the earth, and then even below the earth, there is more, and there is this dark hole. And it's like, again, I'm seeing people being willing to face their shadows, to face what's underneath, to face the subconscious, the unconscious, what they haven't wanted to look at before, what they have been scared to look at before, and what is the root. So I think in some ways that you have helped people, even find the root of their current problems, or the root of whatever they are dealing with. Or so for so many of you, I'm seeing you've helped people somehow go deep. And that is so incredibly beneficial, because not only can it be very scary to go deep, people often don't know how, they don't want to, it can be something that people just avoid their entire lives, but like, you have that knowledge and you've passed it on to people, whether you've explained how to do these things or they have absorbed it from observing you. And again, you allow people to rest. With the Four of Swords, a lot of times we see someone just resting. It's like life has been stressful and hard maybe. And it's like, oh, let me rest. And so there's an influence you have on people that allows them to rest, but also I'm getting that you allow people to to die. And what I mean by that, because I know that sounds weird, and maybe you know what I am talking about right away. Maybe that relates to something for you. But like one way that this could come about is that you allow people to change and transform. You allow you don't expect people to stay the same forever. And so when they let go of an old part of their personality, or they change or they grow, you are very accepting of that. And that is incredibly beneficial for them. But also, you may help people like spiritually die. So it's like they let go of their false selves and they find their real self. Or this could even be what you do for work, or something like maybe you spend time with hospice patients. Maybe you are in the medical field and this has something to do with, helping people release. You may also just help people in general, whether this is your work or something else, you help people release and let go and surrender. You have such beautiful energy. And I really feel that you don't always know how much you impact people. I think maybe you do know sometimes, especially with people because the impact is a little bit more obvious. But I really get the sense that you don't know how deeply and fully you have impacted all of these people. Okay, so let's look at your oracle cards, shall we? Let's move these out of the way. Okay, so we have vanity set, self-awareness, clarity. Inner desires, set some intentions. You are entering a phase of plenty or may have a sudden windfall. Goals are within your grasp. And finally, we have transformation. The energy of transformation supports our ability to gracefully flow through times of transition, allowing the old to make room for the new. So I actually want to start with this because this is kind of what I was just talking about with death. And again, it doesn't need to be literal, but I think that this is talking again about not only, I think, have you transformed and let old selves go and like old ideas go and old beliefs, or you will do more and more of that throughout your life. I mean, some of the ways that you have impacted people, honestly, maybe future ways. Like some of this may have related and some of it you're like, not quite. I'm getting the sense that that is a future version of you. So if that's the case for you, you may see your impact over time. But I think that, so again, not only do I think that you are undergoing transformation or have, but that you help other people to do this too, whether that is people you know, strangers, or both. There's this feeling that you understand things that a lot of other people don't, and that you will help them understand that, whether you are able to explain that to them verbally or even writing it, or literally being in your energy helps people transform in those same ways because they can feel it. And yeah, to gracefully flow through times of transition, I do feel a flow with you. Your energy flows really, really well. It's really open. There doesn't feel to be a lot of blocks. And, again, I'm getting the message that if you do feel like you are very blocked, first of all, I think you may be less blocked than the average person. And also, I think that this could be future energy where you are working through releasing blocks, and you will get to a point where you are so in the flow and you help other people do the same thing. And again, yeah, allowing the old to make room for the new. You have this ability to allow other people's change, other people's transition, other people's letting go. And it's just really beautiful. With this inner desires card, again, I'm getting the sense that you help people reach their desires. You help people move in the direction toward what is important for them, toward their passions, toward their desires, toward their goals. And I don't know if it's because you are able to do that so easily, or if you have just always been able to do that for other people. And again, yeah, self-awareness and clarity. You know, it's interesting that it's the vanity set, because I do not think that you are particularly vain. I mean, I don't know, you may disagree, but what it's saying here is that, you know, with self-awareness and clarity and this mirror, I think that you are able to see yourself more clearly and more truly than a lot of people are. It's like, yeah, you're able to see with a clarity, or you will be able to see with a clarity that is not typical. And not only is that, you know, wonderful for you, but people love that about you, and you gift that to people because you allow them to see what's possible. You allow them to see the true you, and you are less hidden. So it's weird, because I feel like for some of you, you think that people don't see you correctly or clearly, or that you are kind of like, you are sort of hidden from people because maybe you're not talking all the time or like sharing everything about yourself. But the thing is, people can sense the energy, and there seems to be a clarity about your energy. Your energy is very clear, or it's becoming very clear. It's like blockages are released. It's like flow is happening. It's like there's a quietness and a knowing of yourself, and a clear seeing of yourself for who you really are, in a way that is not typical or normal or average. And your self-awareness is a gift for you, but it is also for other people. And for some reason, yeah, it seems to be like it starts people's journeys toward their center, toward looking within, and toward facing themselves. And that is like such an incredible way to impact other people. And I think that a lot of it happens kind of quietly, or you don't always hear about it. And so I don't think that you realize the depth of your impact on others. And the way that you help other people gain clarity. Again, with this card, I'm seeing like someone kind of struggling with choices and not sure what to do, and they're kind of moving forward without clarity, and you help them somehow with finding that clarity, whether you talk it out with them or something that you have said helps people see clearly. But I do think that you are either a very spiritual person, or you are just very in tune with yourself and like the truth in some way. And I could keep going, but I don't think I'm going to say anything that I haven't said in just another way. So I think we'll wrap it up here. Okay, group 1. I think that is all I've got for you today. Let me know if this resonated for you. I enjoyed spending this time with you and your energy. If you enjoyed this reading, please consider liking this video and subscribing. I hope you have a wonderful week ahead. I'll see you soon. Bye. Hi, group 2. You chose the Everyday Witch Tarot and this piece of citrine. As a reminder, we are looking at your positive effect or your impact on strangers and people you know. We're going to start by seeing how you perceive yourself socially, or how you perceive your impact on others, so that it can be sort of an energy check and you can know that this is your group. Then we are going to look at how you positively affect strangers, or how you have. And then how you positively affect people you know, so loved ones, or even just people in your day-to-day. And finally, we'll take a look at some oracle cards for any additional messages or anything else that people love about you, or that you do for people. So let's get straight into it, group 2. How do you perceive yourself socially, or how do you perceive your impact on others? The Queen of Wands, the Emperor, and the Three of Wands. Okay. Well, first of all, there is very fiery energy here. So I would not be at all surprised if you were a fire sign or if you had fire in your chart. So that would be Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. That's not necessary. I'm just seeing that as a possibility. You may, I do not think that you are shy. So if you are very, very shy or introverted, I don't think that this is your group. This seems to be very social energy. And even if it's not like, if you don't feel like you're the most social person in the world, I don't think that you are like fearful of other people or that you might have social anxiety. But I think that you are a sort of a social person, or at least kind of extroverted, or you have no problem talking to people, even if you do feel like an introvert. I think that you may see yourself as a little bit bossy or controlling. I don't get like that's like the only way that you see yourself, but like a part of how you see yourself, you may feel that way, or you may feel that other people think that you are a little bit of a bossy or controlling person, or you like to have things your way and you may worry that people don't like that. You may be very bold in your appearance, you may be very colorful. You have colorful hair, you wear colorful clothes, you have colorful makeup, or you have interesting accessories, or you may really like dress up. Like if you are someone who wears dresses and skirts and things, you may wear them more than the average person. If you are not a person that wears those things, you may dress more formally than a lot of people. And I wonder if you think that either people judge you for that, or like you feel like, actually, I think that you don't really care what other people think in some ways. I think in some ways you do, and in some ways you don't. There's a rebellious nature of like not really caring what people think and wanting to do whatever you're going to do no matter what people think. But I think also the way that you dress or the way that you are does attract people to you. I think that you are probably a natural leader and you know that about yourself. And so in some of the ways that you think that you impact others is by being a natural leader. This could be like, maybe you are a manager at work, or you are a leader at work, or even you feel like you're the leader of a friend group or of your family. There definitely is, of course, we've got two leaders here, and like the emperor is like the leader of all leaders, but it definitely feels like you may find yourself in charge. You may be an oldest sibling, or you may be very good at like directing a group, and you may have pets. I wouldn't be surprised if you have pets or children, or you want pets or children, or you are good with animals, or you really seem to like having companions, whether that is animal companions or people. I think that, again, this gives me kind of extroverted energy or like very social energy, because I don't think that you necessarily spend a ton of your time alone. And if you do spend time alone, like maybe you live alone, I think that you have pets, or you're like friendly with your neighbors or something like that. Like, I think you usually have companions around you, or like, even if you're alone, you're like texting your friends, or you're on social media or something like that. Yeah, I think like even if you worry about how you are socially, you're actually pretty social, and you know that about yourself. You may have a lot of friends, a lot of acquaintances. You get along well with people at work. You also, because there's so much fiery energy, I wonder if you also have a good amount of people in your life that like you kind of like argue with, or don't really like you, or you don't really like them. Like I think that you probably get along with a lot of people, and you may have like a lot of friends or a lot of people who like you, but I think that almost just as easily you can have like little enemies. Like people don't like the way you are because either you come across as very confident, or that you like know what you want, or you know what's best for the group or something like that. And like there's certainly a super fiery energy with you, and you seem to be pretty assertive, or you are You may be very decisive, or you may have a loud voice. Something about you is kind of loud. I don't know if it's your voice or the way that you look or the way that you are with people, but you certainly have a presence. You are not the type of person that gets forgotten in the corner, or like people don't remember you. Like, I think that you're very memorable, and you probably know that about yourself. And while I don't think anyone really likes criticism, I think that you may be a little extra touchy about that, possibly. And you may you may think that you are always right. And I don't know, maybe you are, maybe you're not. But you may have that feeling of like, I know what's right. You maybe have a lot of conviction about the things that you believe in. It may be hard to change your beliefs, or you find yourself having sort of rigid beliefs around other people, or you think that they feel that way about you. Yeah, you feel kind of spicy to me a little bit. And, in a good way. Spicy's good. But I think you might also be very like passionate about things. Like maybe this is about your hobbies or about work or your relationships, but you could also just be very passionate about your beliefs, or you find yourself getting into like debates or like passionate talks with other people. And I think that you get energy from that. I don't know how you feel like other people perceive that, but it's coming through. Let's go ahead and look at how you positively affect strangers, or how you have positively affected strangers. We have the Devil. We have the Sun. And the Six of Cups. Like group 1, you have a lot of major arcana so far, so I think that you have a pretty strong effect on people. And of course, we're looking at your positive effect on people. With the Devil, the first thing that I'm getting is that you are very protective of people. And since we're looking at strangers, you may be someone who, maybe you are in a bar and you see like a man bothering a woman, and like she's alone and kind of doesn't know what to do, and you go up and like save her in some way. Or you like are walking along the street and you see someone in trouble and needing help, and you help them, or you call for help if it's something like actually dangerous. You seem to be like protective of strangers in need. You notice when people need your help and you do what you can to help them. And like, you don't let things fly that you don't think are right. You also might find yourself saying things to a stranger, like, again, if you're like out at night or something and you meet somebody and you're just kind of like talking because you're maybe a really chatty person, and like you end up saying things that these people take to heart. Like, I'm seeing someone in like a toxic relationship, and you happen to be telling a story or something, and this person doesn't even necessarily tell you what's going on for them, but because of what you're saying and whatever you're talking about, they're like, yeah, like they start to see their toxic situation more clearly, and they are able to make a decision to move out of it. Like, this may be something that you never know about or ever see, is like, by living your life, by talking to people, by like expressing things that or have experienced, or your friends have experienced or something, you are impacting people because you are giving them information that they basically need to get out of a bad situation, or to see things more clearly that they maybe were not able to see before. Like, you are able to help them wake up to the truth of something, or to acknowledge the truth of something, or to take action out of a situation and toward something better. Somehow you help people who are in danger, or who need help, or who need protection of some kind, or information that helps them out of something that is not healthy. Somehow you wake people up to red flags, or like, and again, I'm also seeing, like, for some reason I see you like out at like bars. I don't know if you do that a lot, or like why that's what's coming to me, but like you're like out socializing with people and where strangers are. And I'm also seeing, like, in this scenario, I'm also seeing you sort of calling out bad behavior and waking up other people to it. Like maybe you're sitting next to someone who's more of a people pleaser. And they're sitting next to someone who's being kind of a jerk. And so the people pleaser person is, like kind of just going along with it because they're being nice and they're like, well, maybe I'm judging this person. Like maybe they're not so bad. And you're like, no, that person just said this. That's super weird and wrong. It's like you're pointing things out and helping people to notice when things are red flaggy or weird or not cool. And so somehow you are you are helping people and saving people in that way, which is obviously really cool. And also so I think so we're getting to the sun here, but I think that you encounter strangers quite a lot and you sort of befriend strangers possibly quite a lot. You're not someone who like hides at home all the time. And so I see you with this sun card, which also this is, if you know anything about tarot, this looks very 3 of Cups to me as well. But I think that you bring a lot of joy to strangers that you are socializing with. So whether you have gone out with a group of friends and there's some new friends in the group and you make them feel included and you make them feel belonging and you chat with them and you like laugh with them and maybe you guys are like dancing and like you have a good night and they're like, oh, like group 2 was so much fun, you know, like you bring a sense of playfulness and joy and fun to people. Or like, again, in this bar example, you're like meeting strangers. You're like, you go to the bathroom, you make friends. You go up to the bar to get a drink, you make friends. Like you go, like you're passing a table on the way back to your table and you make friends. Like, I think that like you kind of create instant friendship feelings with people, and whether or not you become real friends and ever see these people again, they had like a great night, you know, like they had fun, like they felt connected to you. They felt connected to somebody. And I think that for you, it's really easy to do this and it comes very naturally, and other people really appreciate it because it may not be as natural for them to make friends, or even if you're meeting other people very similar to you, you just create this like this time of joy. Like maybe it's a moment of joy, like you laugh together in the bathroom. Maybe it's a night of joy, like you come together, like you hang out all night. It's really so sweet and so fun and so playful. And I think that you have like a funness to you that other people pick up on and really enjoy. Yeah, I think regardless of your gender, I think that women tend to feel very safe with you. I think that you have protected women and helped women, and women feel good around you and safe around you. And I mean, how could you not want that, you know? I'm also getting that you could be very creative. And that creativity is really lovely for strangers. So again, if you dress very colorfully, or would you do creative things in your life, or some of you have like ideas for projects that like you just like you'll give to a stranger. Like maybe someone's talking to you that you don't know, and they're like, I can't like figure this out. I don't want to know what to do next. And you're like, why don't you do this? Like you have these like creative, quick ideas that you give to people, and allows them to like be like, oh, and then they happily move forward. It's like it gives them joy again for whatever they're doing. Or if you know, like I said, if you dress really colorfully, like it makes people like have ideas of like, it basically inspires people. That's the word I'm looking for. It like inspires people to be like, well, maybe I could do that. Like if you have colorful hair and they're like, I've always thought about having colorful hair. Maybe I could. Or like, you know, it's those kinds of things that like you inspire people in some way by your appearance or your ideas. Or your youthfulness. Like no matter how old you are, you seem to have a level of like youthfulness that comes out with other people. And this like playful, youthful quality is a lot of fun. Like I'm just seeing a lot of fun happens around you. And since we're looking at how you impact strangers, this tends to happen a lot with people you don't know or just meeting for the night, or like acquaintances. I think you can be very generous here with the 6 of Cups as well. Like, it's very possible that like you work with people younger than you. And like, if that's the case, these aren't people that you see every single day. So you wouldn't necessarily be like an elementary school teacher. It would be like you're somewhere where like kids come in and you make the kids happy and like you probably never see them again. Or like, you know, even if like you work at a coffee shop and like a kid comes in, like you give them a little treat, or like you work at a doctor's office and you give them a sucker on their way out, or like, you know, that kind of thing. But but they don't have to be younger than you. I'm seeing a generosity with you and a generosity with strangers. And for some of you, it's definitely like where you work, especially if you work with the public. But for others of you, it's just that you are willing to give. Like you're, you know, it's like if someone you just met that night is like, oh, I love that bracelet, but like you're not that tied to it and you're like, do you want it? Like you just give people stuff, or you freely give your advice and your knowledge. Because it's the cups, you may find yourself giving emotionally to other people in some way. So maybe if you meet someone who is having a hard time, or you see someone in public who's crying, you'll comfort them. You seem to be very giving and generous in some way with people that you don't even really know. And it has a beautiful impact on people, because I think that for you, it's like no big deal. It's like, oh yeah, I don't care about this thing anyway. Or like, of course I would like give that to anybody, but to them, it's more meaningful and more special and more important than you realize. Let's take a look at how you positively affect people that you know. So this could be loved ones, friends, family. This could be people you work with and you just know, but you're maybe not close to. But let's just see how you positively impact these people that you know. Seven of Cups. Three of Pentacles. And the 10 of Cups. Yeah, again, I'm seeing that you are quite social. So even with the people you know, you're not just like kind to strangers. Like you seem to really value your community. And this could be your friends, this could be your family, this could be any of your communities, or all of them. And you may even have multiple communities. You probably do actually. So I don't know if that's multiple friend groups, or you have like a community at work, you have your family, you have your friends, but it seems to be you're quite community minded. I think that whether or not people are family, if someone is in your life, you're going to treat them like family, or you can be very like authentically yourself. Like, you might find yourself being very similar with everyone who's in your life, even if you don't like, even if you like love this person, you just like this person, you may be just as generous or just as yourself. With the 7 of Cups, one of the first things that I'm getting is that you positively affect people you know in a myriad of ways. So you may give people information that you have on something. You may be emotionally there for people. You may be supportive. You may give financially. You may give people gifts. You may like spending time with them. It's like, or you like give them words of affirmation, like you can do all of the love languages, or like something here too is like if people are indecisive, you may either be very patient with their indecision and you give people the time that they need to like make decisions, or you're very patient with people, or you help people make decisions. You may help like narrow things down, and like, you know, if they're trying to decide between 7 things, you might be like, well, let's knock these 2 out because I can already tell you right now, like that's not right for these reasons. And like, you know, it's like you help people get to a decision, or help people figure out what's right for them in some way. And this might even be, because this is people you know, I am getting that this could be like at work. So this would either be with your coworkers, or you see the same people regularly or talk to the same people regularly. But, you know, this isn't just work. I see it in your personal life too. The 3 of Pentacles too is often such a creative card. And so again, I'm getting creativity in some way. So while you can help strangers in that way, you also seem to help people you know in that way. So you may give people ideas, or you help people bring an idea to fruition, or you work collaboratively with people in creative ways. You definitely seem to work in collaboration with people. So again, I'm getting work. You seem to be on like a team, or you work in collaboration with people somehow. You're not like, you know, working in a room by yourself all day long, probably. Or in your personal life outside of work, you collaborate with people on ideas, or like you make plans together or something like that. Like you definitely are, again, community minded in some way. And also, of course, this is the Everyday Witch Tarot. It's got some witchy themes, but you may be a witchy person. You may do spells. You may do like magical things with other people. You could even be spiritual in some way, but it does seem to be that because this is how you affect and impact other people, you help people. Maybe you help people manifest. Maybe you help people with spells, or you have spiritual wisdom or advice to pass on to people. With the 10 of Cups and it being such a happy card, and such a happy card with other people, I think that you bring a lot of people a lot of joy and happiness. So you might be really funny and you bring people joy because you make them laugh, or you laugh at their jokes. And you also seem to be, I don't know if you're family oriented, or if you were that way with like people that you're just friends with or something like that. But like you bring a sense of like family and belonging to other people that you know. Again, I'm seeing generosity. You seem to be a very generous person. You're very giving. You're very willing to give. You're very open to that and to sharing. I think you're good at sharing. I think that you can be kind of a caretaker. Like you like taking care of people, or you like making them comfortable, and or you may like to like baby people in some way or something like that. But I think people feel physically safe around you, or emotionally safe, or both. You may be a good cook, or you like to feed people or eat with people, and that's really enjoyable for them. Or, with all these cups, like, I mean, I don't think they're alcohol, but like I am seeing you for some reason, like you're fun when you drink with people, or like you go out with people, or you make plans with people. People like being around you and with you and inviting you to things, I think, because your energy is fun. And I'm seeing that you may let go easily. I don't know if that's true, but if you let go easily, this is really nice for other people too, because like either you don't hold grudges, or you don't like stay in a bad mood or something. And that's also very positive for others. And like you just, you have some enjoyment of life, or aspects of life that allows other people to also enjoy those aspects of life. So it's like it brings, you bring more enjoyment to people in, I think, a myriad of ways. Yeah, I think you just bring like a life force to things. Like you're not boring, you're not exhausting. Like you bring life to things, and I think that's why people want you there so much. So let's finally let's look at your oracle cards and just get any final information. Okay, so we have pair of shoes, coupling, partnership. Change direction with ease. This is a time for change, shape shifting, or your soul's evolution. I don't know why I read that way. It is a time to reconsider what you are wanting. You may be in for a surprise. Grace. The frequency of grace supports our smooth adaptation to and anticipation of life's currents and changes as we evolve toward a higher version of ourselves on this earthly plane, bridging the divine with the human essence. There's a lot of like yellow-orange energy here, which is making me think sacral chakra and solar plexus chakra. And what that's making me think again is that on the one hand, I think that you have a certain level of confidence that may be kind of uncommon, or you at least come off that way. And that confidence is somehow helpful for other people. And you have again, I'm getting kind of like fiery energy, and like you are sort of powerful in some way. And so that makes me think again, and kind of with this one too, that you are sort of a leader in some part of your life, or multiple parts of your life. And so I think that, again, you may be like a leader of a friend group, like an older person in your family or in your like siblings or cousins, or you, did I already say at work? Or you also lead by example in some way, or again, I'm getting your clothes are lead in the way that they are like inspiring to people. Also with the sacral chakra I'm getting, and also with this pair of shoes coupling partnership, again, I'm seeing you as very social, very good at relationships, or at least you really enjoy relationships and people enjoy you. Yeah. And with this change direction with ease too, it feels like, again, you lead and inspire in some way. Like, you may start movements, or you may start fads or trends, or you help people to think in a different way and be willing to go another way. Or if something is like not yet mainstream, maybe you are the one who proudly does that thing or wears that thing or whatever it is. And like, it starts to trickle down into the mainstream because other people see you doing it so confidently and so courageously that they're like, oh, I could do that. Or like people finally have the courage to do it themselves. You seem to give like confidence and courage to other people because of your confidence and courage. With both of these, even this too. So, our smooth adaptation to and anticipation of life's currents and changes, change direction with ease. And then we have these shoes that you're just walking in a direction. I think that you are willing to change. You are maybe not scared of change, or even if you are, you seem to be less scared of it than other people. Like where someone might stay in a job for 20 years, you'll stay for 2 months if you don't like it. Or, you're not willing to put up with the status quo if it doesn't suit you, if it's not right for you. You may change your appearance frequently. You may change your hobbies frequently. Like something about you is changeable and adaptable, and you're not scared of it in the same way a lot of other people are. And not only is that like cool and a great quality of yours, but again, I'm getting inspiration. It inspires other people. It motivates other people. It helps other people see what's possible. And specifically because of that, and because of this grace card, it's like a divine quality of yours. It's like God-given. It's like you came here like programmed to be this way, or like your soul is this way, or something like this. You have this like vitality and this certain kind of energy that is unique in this way. And it's a divine gift, not only for you in your life, but to show other people what's possible in the ways that you do these things. I'm seeing a lot of red for some reason. I'm being really drawn to red, even though it's not in these cards. I guess it is a little bit here, but I keep seeing red. And so I think that's talking again about how you might be very like passionate. You might be very good at debating. You might be a very like physical person. Yeah, there's like a vital energy, or you may really like red. You may wear red. You may have a red car. You may like, for some reason, like I'm seeing you write in like a red notebook. Like red might be one of your favorite colors. It doesn't have to be, but I'm just seeing red a lot. Maybe you have red hair, red nails, something like that. Or also a message that I'm getting with that is like, people call on you in an emergency, like you're there to help people in an emergency. And you may have like several people that feel very close to you, like they think that they're your best friend, or like very easily people feel very close to you. Like you might be their best friend, even if you have like 10 best friends, or like someone else is your best friend. I think people very quickly feel connected to you, and like, they either see similarities in you, or you mirror things for them or something like that. And so they feel close to you. I think people really look up to you in at least one area of your life, and they look to you for like the answers or the motivation or the courage. I think people maybe rely on you for help in that way, or because you can be like very motivating. And honestly, I think, that's about it, group 2. So let me know if this resonated for you. I enjoyed spending this time with you. If you enjoyed this reading, please consider liking and subscribing. And I hope you have the most wonderful week ahead. I will see you soon. Okay, bye. Hi, group 3. Welcome to your reading. You chose the Kawaii Tarot and this Tangerine Quartz. So, we are looking at your positive impact on other people. So, how you affect strangers and how you affect people you know in a positive way. So, we'll start with how you perceive yourself socially or how you perceive your impact on others as sort of an energy check. And then we'll get into how you positively affect strangers, how you positively affect people you know. And then we've got some oracle cards on the end for any additional information or messages. This this deck is hard to shuffle, so I'm going to pull it back, but I'm going to give it a quick shuffle and then we'll get right into it, okay? Okay, group 3. How do you perceive yourself socially, or how do you perceive your impact on other people? We've got the 7 of Cups, the Queen of Coins, which is the Queen of Pentacles, and we have the Knight of Cups. For some reason, I'm not necessarily even seeing this in the cards right away, but for some reason I feel like you think you're kind of flighty or spacey, or you seem like all over the place in some way, or you think that like people perceive you as being like kind of like flaky or spacey or something like that, or like very dreamy and in your head. Actually, yeah, with the Knight of Cups, you may feel like you are kind of like dreamy and like in your head, or very like kind of like you may be romantic, but that's not really what's coming for me as much with this Knight of Cups. Or you think that people see you that way. You may like, this group may have like ADHD or like be neurodivergent or like or think that you are, but whether or not you are, there seems to be this feeling of like, I want to say like you kind of feel all over the place, but you also kind of don't. Like there's a chaos and a calm with you, like how you feel and how you perceive yourself and how you think other people perceive you. Or you think that like, even though this is an octopus who is in the water, I'm getting the phrase a fish out of water. Like you may feel in some ways like you're a fish out of water. So, you know, in group 1, we did have this feeling of possibly feeling a little odd or different. And I get a different energy with you, but like a sort of a similar phrasing of like, you may feel a little odd or different, but I don't think that stops you from engaging with other people or talking to other people. I think you're relatively social. Yeah, I see you definitely spending time around people. And I don't know if like you have a public facing job and so you have to spend time with people, but I think that you actually choose to spend time with people. Even I do get some social anxiety with this group. So you may feel anxious. You may stay up like at night thinking about the things that you said and did and like wondering if you were awkward. But you still continue to spend time with people and you enjoy being social to a degree. But I think that you worry about how you are socially. I think that you're afraid that you come across a different way than you are, and that like you want to be seen for how and who you are, but like you can't help but be a certain way around other people. Like I think that some people in this group may be like empaths and sensitives, and like you may pick up on other people's energy very easily, and you may find yourself acting differently with different people, or people's energies impact you quite a lot, or the words that they say or the things that they do. I think that you are pretty impacted by people. And so you can seem different at different times with different people, even if you have like a very, like a core part of you that is like always the same. You seem like your energy is sort of flexible. it's like kind of hard for me to explain it because I think it's hard for you to explain and to even understand yourself. And I think that you'll know if this is your group because you'll be relating to that. But I'm getting a very, very specific energy, and it's also really hard to find the words for. So I hope that I'm explaining it in a way that you're understanding. You don't seem like a very like angry or irritable person. Well, you might be irritable. You might feel a little bit irritable internally, but I don't think you're super external about that. But I think that you feel like if you do get irritable, I wonder if you feel like the way that you are because of that also impacts how you are seen socially. I think you worry about how you're seen socially. You worry about like acceptance from other people. And you maybe really want acceptance from other people, but I don't get a very angry energy with you. So while you do probably get irritable, like I get some like crankiness or irritability, I don't think you're a very angry person. I think that like, I do think that you want to be liked, and you know, who doesn't? We all want to be liked, right? But like you may do things to be liked, or you feel like you're trying too hard. I don't know that other people feel that way about you, but I think that you kind of feel like you try too hard sometimes, or that it comes across that way. Or like you may even like wear an outfit because you think the people you're with are going to like it. Like you, because I think that it feels very uncomfortable for you to deal with disagreements or not being accepted. And I think that you're trying to like fit into too many boxes in order to be palatable or acceptable by other people. And I don't think that's all the time, but I think that you do feel like that socially quite a bit. Yeah, I see you like kind of like wearing different outfits or different vibes for different people, or like presenting different aspects of your personality with different people. And if you didn't do it quite right, you're like laying in bed at night thinking about it. And you're like, oh, I should have done this. Like, or like, I shouldn't have said this, or I should have made that joke, or shouldn't, you know, it's like, you're kind of like overthinking it. But like, I think that you also know you can't please everybody, but you keep trying to please everybody by like sort of like fitting into all these different boxes for some reason. And so it kind of scatters your energy. It kind of feels like you feel a little bit scattered. And that's the reason why. I don't think you would naturally be so scattered if it weren't for relationships and being social and trying to like fit in certain ways. And like, I think that like a lot of people are that way, but like it's coming through because it is impacting you, and it is how you perceive yourself socially. And I think that you are afraid that you come off like too airheady sometimes, or like, it's like, or I'm like hearing you kind of like gossip and then you regret it. You're like, I shouldn't have gossiped. Like that was wrong. But I did it because like this person like seems to like gossip. So they liked me. It keeps coming back to like those kinds of things. But like you seem to know that you can't please everybody, but like you're trying so hard to do it. And it's like kind of exhausting. I'm getting like sleepy energy from you, and you can't be everything to everybody. You can't. But I think that like, you know that, but you want to be, you know. Let's see. Let's look at how you positively affect strangers, or how you have positively affected strangers. Also, for some reason, I'm getting that like you might respond to texts really quickly. And like you're very like quick to respond. I don't know why that's important. Maybe because people really like that about you. Maybe because they always know that they'll hear from you quickly. And so it's like a boost for them, or it's reassuring to them, or that, you know, people who care about you like know you're safe. But maybe people just really like that you tend to be a quick and responsive. Seven of Swords. Four of Swords. And the Queen of Cups. Okay. Again, for some reason, I'm getting kind of like feelings before I'm really getting anything from the cards. So I'm feeling like you. So the phrase that I'm actually hearing is you allow people to open up and you open people up. And then as I'm looking at these cards, actually, and yeah, Queen of Cups, look at this open. It's somehow you allow people to open up and expose parts of themselves because I'm so I'm hearing safe. You make people feel safe. And I'm feeling there is like a safety that you provide. And also like, you allow people to rest and relax, and like, and also, you allow people to, open up about the things that they may feel shame for, the ways that they feel they have, done things wrong in the past, or like their secrets, or the things that like, their like secret motivations, and like the things that like they don't tell normal people because they're afraid of being judged. So there's a lot of feeling like, well, this is so interesting because, you know, this is the way that you affect strangers. So you are making people you don't know feel safe. Are you the type of person that people come up to and they like tell you their life story? Like, I kind of think that this might be this group of like, strangers trust you, people that you don't know very well. Even though this is strangers, I'm also getting acquaintances here. So people that kind of know you, but maybe you guys don't know each other really well. People feel very safe around you very quickly and very immediately. You seem to be a very trustworthy energy, and people let down their guards like, almost immediately, or like they like, yeah, do you have people like kind of like toxic people just tell you the things they do or something? Like, I feel that like people are not afraid to tell you the truth about themselves and like the things that they do and the things they've done. Or I'm seeing like you're safe to be talked to about these things. And like, you know, you might like pass a person on the street and they, for some reason, like stop you and tell you like, you know, I used to be an addict and like I lost my family, and I, you know, they start telling you their life story while you're like waiting at a stoplight to like cross the street or something. Like, it seems like strangers just feel like they need to open up to you. They want to open up to you, and that you are safe to do that with. It's like they can sense that energy that like you won't judge them, or you will have, again, I think that this might be the group of like people with a strong level of empathy and compassion for others, which I think also leads to these initial feelings we talked about of like, feeling kind of like all over the place, or wanting to fit in and stuff like that. Because I think a lot of times people with a strong level of like empathy and sensitivity can get very lost in other energies, or they also, a lot of times these people, you know, me included, a lot of the time want to, maybe because of the way you grew up or whatever, like want acceptance and want comfort and want to rest and relax with people. But we feel so many things that it can sometimes be hard to do that. And then we question ourselves later because because like you aren't always consistent. And so you don't necessarily like that, but I don't think that you can really help it because you are so prone to picking up, feeling, and processing other people's emotions, other people's feelings, other people's energies. But because of that, you have a very compassionate heart and energy and a sensitivity that other people are picking up on. And so the gift that you give to strangers is non-judgment, acceptance, allowing people to be who and how they are. And even for just a moment, someone can tell you their life story or rest in your presence because for once, someone is being open to them and allowing them to be open. There's an openness here that's so beautiful. And like, whether or not that's reciprocal, like you may or may not feel like you can be open to others. I feel that some of you definitely are. And then you feel like that vulnerability hangover the next day because you were too open. But it also, because of that, it allows other people to open up. So, you know, perhaps you're in a situation where you're meeting people for the first time and like, you know, I don't know, you're going to like something where you know some people and you're meeting some other people, and like because you are revealing things about yourself or your feelings, it's allowing these people you don't know well to do the same thing. And while it may not feel good to you later because you, again, like I said, like you have like a vulnerability hangover or something, or you regret saying some of these things. What I don't think that you realize is these other people are grateful for that because it allowed them to open up. I think that what can happen sometimes is that people enter your orbit that may be really closed off normally, but they feel safe to let something out with you. And it's a release for them. And also, you may also have people who are already kind of open and they tell everybody everything, but they're going to tell you too. Yeah, you allow people to release shame in some way. Like, again, like someone will say something to you about something that they feel ashamed about, and you don't really know them. And you're like, it's okay. We all make mistakes. We all hurt people. We all do things that we regret. And so that gives them a sense of peace, the ability to rest in a way that maybe they haven't been able to rest in a long time because it's eaten at them. And that's why they needed to say it. What a blessing that you could give people this gift. And I don't think that you always realize it. I think sometimes you do. Like, I think that you may not realize the depth of the impact that it makes on someone being able to release something like this and to be accepted for a moment in time. Yeah, with the Queen of Cups especially, I really get this sense that you are very emotionally in tune with yourself and others, very sensitive to other people's feelings, and you have a very nurturing and compassionate presence. And while you may feel very scattered, that's not how you are affecting other people. Like, what you're doing is allowing them to be. And I think sometimes with this scattered energy where you feel like perhaps you are a different person, sometimes it's actually what you're doing sometimes is actually reflecting to someone their energy, and so that they can feel safe to release something, to let something out, to say something, to open up in some way. And while it can feel very scattering for you, in the moment, they feel a kindred spirit. Does that make sense? And I feel that you have a very nurturing presence. Perhaps your voice is very nurturing. Perhaps just the words that you say to someone or the way that you look at them when they relay information to you. It is kind, it's compassionate, it's open, and it's accepting. And it's very loving. I feel a very strong heart, loving energy here. And I think that, if you believe in the chakras and energy centers, your heart energy center is very open, very big, very vibrant. And while you may struggle in other areas, I think that you have a lot of love to give, and that it comes very naturally for you to give it. And I'm seeing that you can very naturally give love to strangers. Let's take a look at how you positively affect people that you know. And I would not be surprised if some of the same energy is in these cards, but let's take a look. The Fool. Six of Coins, which would be the Six of Pentacles. And the Ace of Wands. Okay, so for some reason I feel that you are incredibly encouraging for people. And as I look at the Fool and the Ace of Wands, actually all these cards are making me think that now. So with the Ace of Wands, it feels like, I don't know, what is this, a sloth? It feels like this creature here is like very vulnerable and kind of scared and nervous, and and with the Fool and it being like a fresh beginning, like the Fool isn't scared of a new beginning, but this Ace of Wands does feel scared of being a beginner in some way. And also with the generosity of the Six of Pentacles, it feels like you are very generous with your encouragement. And I think that the way you impact people you know is like, I just want to keep wanting to say encouraging. You help people take the leap. You help people move forward, start again, do things that are scary. I think that you just have a very either nurturing way of being or supportive way of being. Like, you are very, very supportive of people, the decisions, the things that they need to do. When someone is anxious or scared, I think that you talk them down off the ledge. I think that You are very, very calming to people with your words, your reassurance, and the way that you listen. And I think that you can, you really calm people down when they're stressed out for some reason or when they're fearful. You remind people that you know that it's okay to feel that the way that they feel, that they're not alone in their feelings, that everyone goes through these things. You remind people of that, and they also feel very supported by you. So I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of people in your life call you when they're having a problem, or they want to be around you when they're having a problem, or they need someone who is going to be very understanding of what they're going through rather than judgmental. Yeah, I think that you are accepting, you are very understanding, you are very compassionate, and you allow people to feel safe. And so, it isn't just strangers, it's people you know as well. And I think that you are very generous with your time and energy and with your words. I think that you give people confidence. You help people to feel more confident. Like, you build people up. I don't know if you're really, I think that you're reassuring in some ways, but I think that you also like remind people of all of the wonderful qualities they have. And like you're very positive and optimistic with them. But also if they are feeling like anxious and stuff, it's not like, you're not like, don't feel anxious, here's why you shouldn't. It's like, I totally get it. I felt that way when this happened. I know this person who felt that way when this happened. Like, of course you're anxious. It makes perfect sense that you're anxious. But then, as you're allowing them to feel what they feel, and like, what's the word I'm looking for? Acknowledging. When you're acknowledging what someone is going through, it helps them to start the calm down process. And then, it's like you're slowly talking them off that ledge, and then also talking them out of the intensity of their emotion or their fear or their sadness. Yeah, I really think that people come to you when they are in need of emotional reassurance or understanding, because I really think that you are so accepting and that you have the ability to see and feel and understand many, many perspectives, whether or not you have gone through an exact thing. And I think that perhaps you have gone through a lot of things, and even if you haven't gone through the exact scenario that someone has gone through, you understand the feelings. And I think that you are a feeler and that you feel things very deeply. I wouldn't be surprised if there are water signs in your chart. But you understand the complexity of emotion and feelings. And also you understand them on a level that may be a little bit uncommon. I think you are very in tune with your own feelings and emotions. Maybe you always have been, or maybe you learned to be. I think that you might be an emotional person, or you have very deep emotions. You seem to understand the emotional world in a way that not everyone does. And because of that, you are such a comfort to those in your life, because they feel understood by you, or at least seen by you or accepted by you. I think like even if you're younger than people like in your life, they still may come to you sometimes for comfort or love. And especially when they are feeling small, or like a younger part of them is coming to the surface, it's almost like you have like a parental ability or something, or you're very soothing, or you might like, you might have a soothing physical touch, like you might comfort someone or hold their hand, or, pet their head or things like that. But I think that you're also just emotionally and maybe verbally very comforting. And I think that because you are able to match and understand people's energy so well, that is such a comfort for them, because just to feel seen, to feel heard is such a gift, because I think so often so many people are in their own little worlds. And while they may be able to have compassion or sympathy, not everyone has this level of empathy and understanding. And even when you don't verbalize it, I think people can feel it. And it's so genuinely wonderful to feel understood and seen. let's take a look at your oracle cards for any final messages, information. It could be advice for you. It could be what else people love about you or what else you do for people. Let's see what we've got for you. Okay, we have Armadillo Basket, Grounding Fierce Protection. Clearing the excess. You are entering a transitional phase and would benefit from clearing away excess clutter, whether it is in your physical body or your physical space. Divine Masculine. The frequency of the Divine Masculine supports our active, focused, and strong side, facilitating our capacity to transform our dreams into form. Okay, so I'm feeling there might be actually more advice for you in these cards, but first, with the Armadillo Basket, Grounding Fierce Protection, I think this is just talking again about how people feel safe with you and they feel held by you in some way. So I think that you hold space, you hold energy, and there's a protective feeling in that for other people because being seen, being understood, being held and nurtured in those ways is basically a form of safety and protection that you are offering other people. Even if you feel very kind of like soft, very floaty, and this armadillo basket is very hard and protective, I think your softness is actually a protection for other people. And you may feel very vulnerable to the elements and like you don't have a strong protection, but we're going to get into advice for you here. But I think that even if you don't feel very grounded, you have a grounding impact and influence on other people because of the way that you provide for other people, and it brings them back down to earth because they can get so lost in thought and feeling, and that just having someone there to listen or to hold their hand or to understand brings them back down to a grounded center. And so that's a huge gift that you have that you are offering other people. And I don't think that it's even necessarily intentional. I think that you are just that way. That's just how you are, I think. And I think that you probably enjoy that about yourself and you enjoy helping other people. But I think even if you didn't, you would be doing that anyway, you know? With these cards, so the Divine Masculine is basically telling you, so it supports our active, focused, and strong side, facilitating our capacity to transform our dreams into form. So this is basically telling you that as wonderful as all of your qualities are, and they can remain present, you don't need to get rid of any of them. You may want to lean into the Divine Masculine a little bit more. And what I mean by that, and what this card is about, is that it's okay to have a strong and powerful side to you that is assertive, that is decisive, and is like loud, you know? And I'm not saying that like that's what Divine Masculine is, but that's what's coming through for you. It's about tuning more into your strength and your strong side, because you do feel very scattered. And I don't think that may never fully, completely go away, but I don't think that you need to feel that as often as you might be feeling it. And there's what I'm feeling with this is like finding your center and your core and who you always are, and like strengthening that and being very like decisive, instead of, I think that at times you might allow your energy to go to so many different places, whether you mean to or not. Like, I don't even think that this is conscious, but I think that you feel it happening because you feel kind of scattered. You might feel distracted. You might feel very floaty, and like airheady at times. And I think you're meant to kind of like, bring your energy back and like get very in touch with the core of you, and have practices where you come home to yourself and to your core, and like you energetically release the energy that has come into your field or that you're holding on to. There's a lot of reasons you could be holding on to it. It might be just very like unconscious, and like it's just the way that you are. And so this energy is like being held in your energy field, but there's a lot of ways to clear that. And so you may find that you are holding on to energy because you feel bad. I know that sounds weird, but you might feel bad letting people's energy go. Like you feel like you have to hold on to it for a myriad of reasons. I don't want to get into every single one that's coming in because I don't want to forget anything else, but you might look at that. There is, it could be that like again, you can't help it. It's just that the stuff gets attached to your energy field because you either have like holes in your energy field or you're like kind of magnetic, or just because you have so much understanding for others that it sort of melds in with yours, but you have your specific energy. So I think that there are other ones sort of like attached in your energy field, and it's time to work on releasing that. So, exercise can help, like grounding exercises can also help. Learning more about like energetic boundaries and like calling for protection or doing things that make you feel protected, or even doing like spells that are protective. Like, I don't know what you relate to. If you believe in like angels and spirit guides, Archangel Michael is very protective, but all angels can protect you and help you. You can do visualizations and meditations, and you can wipe the energy off. Like anything that's going to clear these energies, it would be very beneficial for you to look into that. And finding your core and always coming back to your core, because I think that you're going to continue to pick stuff up at least sometimes, especially when you're going through things or whatever. So find ways of clearing the energy and protecting your energy and bringing your energy back to you as well, because you might also find that you are giving your energy to people, whether you mean to or not. And that is kind of putting you in a weaker state. So if you're very tired or fatigued a lot, that could be what's happening for you. Sorry, I really went into that, but I felt like I had to say all of that. I honestly feel like I need to keep going, but I don't want to. And yeah, oh my gosh, of course, clearing the excess. Again, this is making me think that you need to clear. And look, so I know that this is a completely different animal. This is like a stingray or whatever, and these are fish. But what I'm seeing is, look how clear these fish look. They almost look transparent. And this stingray or whatever it is like brown. And so what it feels like to me is it's like it's got muck in it or on it. And it's not that the things that you've gotten from other people are bad, but you're picking up like muck. So other people's energy that does not belong with you, that is theirs, not yours. And that you would have so much more clarity, and you would feel more like comfortable in your own skin and comfortable with how you are socially, and like just comfortable in life and more clear and have more clarity if you did not have the excess gunk in your energy field. I hope this is making sense. I know that it's getting very energetic, and but I feel like this group for the most part will relate to this. And so, I'm just going to keep going, I guess. But yeah, I think that and so this plant here is making me think of a brain. And so I'm thinking that too, like people's thoughts are sort of getting stuck in your thought body. Does that make sense? Your energy body that is mental. And so there is a need to clear, to get rid of and send these things back to where they came from, or get them out. And there, again, are so many ways you can do that. And everyone will have sort of their individual ways of doing that. If you have any practices that you already know help you feel better, I'm seeing people taking baths, taking showers, exercising, doing, like meditations and things like that. And you would benefit from clearing away excess clutter. So I think that you would feel a lot better and clearer if you were able to send some of that away, and have a continuous practice where you are sending things away, maybe even once a day, at least once a week. Because I think it's also weighing your physical body down and creating a feeling of tired. You may even experience health problems that you can't explain, or like you're constantly experiencing little health things that are cropping up. And I think it's because you're carrying a whole bunch of stuff that isn't yours, and you need to send it away. And honestly, like, I'm just going to keep basically saying the same thing. So I think I'm going to end it here. So group 3, you are lovely. You do wonderful things for other people. And it's also time to take care of yourself. Let me know how this resonated for you. I loved doing this with you. If you enjoyed this reading, please consider liking and subscribing. I really hope you have a wonderful week, and I will see you again soon. Okay, bye. Hi, group 4. Welcome to your reading. You chose the Carnelian and the Fairy Tale Tarot. I recently got this deck, and it's really cool, but you basically have to read it intuitively, which is how I generally read anyway, but it'll be interesting. I've only really used it once. So we are doing a reading today on how you positively affect other people, strangers and people that you know. So we're going to look at your impact on other people. And I want to start with how you perceive yourself socially, or how you perceive your impact on other people. And that's basically going to serve as an energy check so that you'll know if this is your group. Okay. And then we will look into how you positively affect strangers. Then how you positively affect people that you know. And then we have some oracle cards for the end for just any additional messages or advice or any additional information on how you affect others. So let's take a look, okay? So let's start with how you perceive yourself socially, or how you perceive your impact on other people. The Prince of Swords, the Sun, and the Five of Pentacles. It's interesting. The first thing I'm picking up is anxiety from you. So I think that either you just deal with anxiety generally, or you have social anxiety because we're specifically talking about other people, or you are very anxious that you are impacting people negatively. Or you've been taught somehow, like maybe when you were growing up, somehow you were taught that like you are a problem, or you impact people negatively, or you're to blame for things, and it's sort of followed you throughout your life, or people around you are reacting negatively. So I kind of wonder if you have people around you who are like kind of miserable or something, and so and you kind of for some reason have taken on the burden of feeling like it's your fault, and so it's like, yeah, for some reason it feels like you have a lot of anxiety when it comes to being social or being around people, or your effect on people. I think that you really, really worry for some reason that you either have a negative effect, things are your fault, or like you don't know how you're being perceived, or you feel very different in some way than other people. But at the same time, I am feeling if this has rung true for you, I feel that you also know that you're not the problem. I think that you are also very, very aware of your positive qualities. And, but I think that for some reason, something plagues you a little bit in this area. And I keep being drawn back to childhood. So I think that somehow in your family of origin, or in your friend group as a child, or something like that, when you were a kid, you were either ostracized, bullied, made to be the problem, blamed for things, or not accepted in some way, or not accepted for who you are. And while this sort of false belief and negative belief has followed you, you still know that that is not actually true. So there's at least a part of you, and I'm feeling like a flooding of energy come up. There is a part of you, most of you, the real you, that knows that is not true, and that also feels that you bring positivity to other people's lives, whether or not they recognize it. I think that you are very willing to, that you're very willing to help people and like save people, and like you kind of like come to the rescue. You are optimistic. You may be very like happy or like cheerful, and like you bring a positive energy to people and to things. But I think that you might feel like other people don't see that, or like you're trying so hard to do that, and you might feel like it's not appreciated, respected, or seen, or something like that. Like I feel that like for some reason the burden of other people's burdens have been or are being taken out on you in some way. You feel very affected by like other people are very like crabby around you, and they like don't see that as a problem, like, or people tend to blame you for things because you'll easily just take the blame and be like, oh, I'm sorry, like how can I do better? It's something like that, but like you actually know that it is these other people. A lot of you knows that, but there's a part of you, a small part of you that believes that could be true. And you're constantly trying to do better. And you are actually like, I feel that you are actually giving so much positivity, but for some reason you have people in your life, or you have had people in your life that are downers, negative, angry, crabby, traumatized, and take it out on other people, tend to blame things on you or twist the narrative, or are manipulative or are controlling. Like, there are many different energies. You might relate to all of those, but for some reason, your light feels like it is not being acknowledged, recognized. I think that that is something that has been with you for a long time. And this, I don't think that this is how you feel all the time, but it's coming through because this is the message that you either need to hear or you could relate to the most at this time. And I really think like, I just feel like you're saying to me, I'm trying my best, and why isn't it good enough? Like, it feels like it's never good enough. Like, for some reason, people continue to take from you, or people continue to blame you. There's something like this that is in continuation even now, that you are like out of a situation from the past. And it's like you have so many like memories of this energy or something. And so even if it's not what's currently happening, you've carried it with you, because in some way it's like a safety blanket. It's like, it's what you know. It's like all you know. And I feel that you have a very strong spiritual team with these birds. It feels like angels are around you. Angels have been around you your whole life. I think that you have a lot of angelic energy in your life around you, helping you, being present with you. You may have very strong, you definitely have everyone has spirit guides. You have a spiritual team though, that is big, very present with you, and you may be very spiritually in tune. Actually, I definitely think that you are. But the problem is like what has happened to you on earth, on the earthly material physical plane, and it has affected you. And so sometimes I think that you are very spiritually connected, very in tune with your intuition and the spiritual realm. And there are other times that you are very like life can feel very like rough or hardening or heavy, or like, it's like, I feel emotional, sort of like, I think that, you have a deep emotional feeling about this, something that happened when you were a kid, or many things that happened, I think, when you were young, and like, it's still sort of being carried in some way, even if you've done all these things to change. You may find yourself people pleasing, or you may find yourself being kind of codependent, or like you may find yourself with a lot of like addicts in your life, or like abusive people or things like that. Or you may just even question yourself with like normal, healthy, wonderful people. You may find yourself questioning yourself a lot and feeling sort of out of place. I think in some way you've always felt out of place. And I think that someone made you feel out of place. I think that maybe you would have always felt different in some ways, but you wouldn't have necessarily felt out of place, or I can't think of the other word I'm looking for, but like, I think that people made you feel that way. Like, I think you always would have felt unique in ways, but because of your childhood, I think it is, you feel very out of place. And there's so much anxiety that comes with that. There's a lot of self-doubt here. I feel like I've been going on with this a little bit too long, but like, there's still stuff coming up. And that's, I think, another message for you is like, stuff is coming up. Like, I think you may have done a lot of work on yourself or healing, or you've gone down these different paths to try to like rid yourself of these feelings, or feel better. But things are continuing to come up to the surface. And what could also be happening is like, maybe you felt good for a while and this stuff was not bothering you, and then it's recently started to come back up because there are more layers. It's not that like, well, actually, it's not that it's coming back up. There's more coming up. There's more coming to the surface to be dealt with, to be seen. And this isn't what this reading is about, so I don't want to spend all my time on this first question, but maybe there are messages that you are needing to hear, or maybe you are just needing to know that like, it's actually not your fault. And we're going to get into the ways that you're positively affecting people. Maybe that will help you feel better. But I feel a strong sense of self-doubt and questioning yourself, confusion about the truth, because I think that you've had manipulative people around you possibly, or I do feel like there is a sense of community or people that have created self-doubt, who have lowered your confidence, who have made you question yourself, or have ostracized you or made you feel different. And so this could be your family of origin. This could be a friend group. This could even be something that has happened in the recent past or is currently happening to you. And so I'm just going to move on so that we can get to what this reading is actually about, because I don't want to like harp on this for too long, but you'll know obviously if this is you. So let's go on to how do you, or how have you positively affected people you know. I also just want to say this, like, as I'm sensing your energy, yes, I'm feeling all this self-doubt and everything like that, but like, I have to say that like your energy is very sweet. There's like an innocent quality to your energy. It is very like, it's like making me want to cry, because you don't deserve any of this. And like, you know, you feel so sweet to me and so like innocent, and like, you know, it doesn't matter how old you are. You could be like 75, but like there's a sweetness to you. And I think that like people around you sometimes are not so innocent. And I'm not trying to say that you're like naive or anything like that, but I think that you've had people around you that are poisonous, and they have poisoned your own thoughts about yourself. And like, it's making me feel very emotional, because like, I'm just going to say this again. You truly did not deserve any of it, and it has nothing to do with you. And for some reason, you have absorbed that this has something to do with you, and it's your fault. And if you could change something, it would change this. But that's not true. It's not. Okay. So I just want to say that before we get into the rest of the reading. Okay. So let's go ahead and see how you positively affect strangers, or how you have affected strangers positively. We've got the Two of Cups, the Moon, the Seven of Wands. Okay, well, there's a few things with the Two of Cups, but I mean, one thing is that sweet, innocent energy coming forward again. Like, I think that sometimes the way that you affect strangers or people that you don't know or don't know well is that they are very impacted by the sweetness that you have, this natural sweetness. I don't know if you feel like you are a sweet, innocent person, but I know that you have a gentle, sweet energy. You may find yourself like, you may like be walking and like you notice like dogs trying to get your attention because they want you to come up and pet them, or like you're really good with animals, or you may be good with kids. You may or may not. But there is something about you that is really gentle and sweet. And so like, even like, you know, if you are at the store and you're looking for something in an aisle and someone says something to you and you have like this short interaction, they just are kind of left with a smile on their face because they're like, oh, that person was nice. You know, they were really nice. I think probably a lot of people would say that you are a nice person. But strangers in particular, I think they have this like, yeah, I'm just seeing like a smile on their face as you walk away. They're just like, that was nice. That was a nice little interaction with somebody pleasant. And I think that that might be really, it might like make someone's day a little bit better because, you know, maybe they were having like kind of a hard day, and just like having someone be nice to them for a moment, or like understand, like even if, you know, it's like someone is like kind of being impatient and cranky or whatever at the store, and like you're like, oh, like, let me get out of your way. It's just like a simple thing, kind of, they're like, oh, you know, it kind of like puts them back at ease. So I think that people really like this quality about you as you walk about the world and you like smile at a stranger, or you offer something to someone, or you help someone that's walking by. There's, a happy, sweet quality that you leave with people as you interact with them. And I'm seeing just really short, simple interactions, or even like, you know, stop to like pet someone's dog or you compliment them or something. And it's just like, just a little boost, a little sunshine in somebody's day. I think with the Seven of Wands here, you can also be very protective of strangers. And I got this in another group, someone being very protective of strangers. But I think that like, you might be like, was it the last group? I think it was the last group. You may be similar. There may be messages for you there actually. But you may be similar in that, I'm seeing someone like, you're sitting somewhere and you have a conversation with a stranger that you may never see again. And like, they are telling you about something, like they just went through a really hard relationship or something like that. And like, you're like, oh my God, I know exactly what you're talking about. And like, and you are kind of saying all these things because you understand what they went through. And like, so you're bringing like a greater understanding to their situation. So not only do they feel understood, but they now have new knowledge. And yeah, it kind of feels like you may not be you may stand up for strangers. You may not be afraid to like stand up for somebody in need, or like you stand up for what is right. And yeah, you don't let people maybe get away with things if you feel like it's wrong. And again, I'm kind of seeing you like talking to people, like kind of like validating the things that they've gone through. So it kind of feels like I keep seeing people sitting and talking to you and telling you their story or something they've recently gone through, and like where they may have self-doubt, you're seeing what you didn't get. Like you went through things you were maybe blamed for and you didn't get the validation you needed that it wasn't your fault. And so you're doing that for other people. Like they're telling you their story and you're like, no, like the other person you're talking about was the wrong one here. Like if you're telling me the truth, I promise it's not your fault. It's that kind of thing of like validation and reassurance to others. And especially when they are doubting themselves or questioning themselves, because you know what that's like. And even when you haven't always been able to stand up for yourself, you will stand up for someone else, or you will tell them, you will reassure them, you will validate them, and you will let them know, no, this isn't your fault. This other person was harming you. This other person was trapping you. This other person was abusing you, that kind of thing. Yeah, I think that you don't let bullies get away with what they're doing in some manner. And I think that people feel like, again, I see you sitting and talking with a stranger. So people that you randomly have conversations with that you maybe never get to know or you never see again. I got this a lot with the last group of like people telling you their stories, but I think people do. And I think people feel safe and protected with you in that way, because I think people talk to you about things that you understand because of your experiences, because of your feelings, the things that you've gone through. And so, sometimes people that have gone through similar things end up like there's an energy attraction to them. And like, so people find you and talk to you about something that you're going to understand. And so you do understand and you do validate and you strengthen them and you free them in some way. You let them out of their cage. You help them to release stuckness. Yeah. And like, even if you're walking by something and you see something happening that's not right, you'll say something, you'll do something. You're not going to just let people get away with that. With the moon, well, one thing is, I think that you are probably incredibly intuitive. I think that you probably have psychic abilities, or you are pretty intuitive, or you have like psychic dreams, or you have really interesting dreams. But the thing is that the way that this affects strangers is, I think you have intuitive moments. And so you might say something to someone that they needed to hear. You might instinctively, you seem to have like instincts that are really strong. So you may instinctively not only say the right thing to someone, but you might know when to smile at someone who needs that, or like, exactly the thing to do. Sometimes I don't even think that you realize it. I think sometimes you do something because it is an instinctual thing, but it impacts someone in a much deeper way than you realize. I think also with this particular moon, You may also find that people feel relaxed with you, and again, this is about strangers, but people that you don't know, people that you encounter briefly, they may feel that they can relax, that they don't have to be as on guard with you or as closed off, or you might even find that people don't necessarily feel like they need to be like sunny and happy and over the top. Like they can kind of let down their defenses, even if their defenses are to be like energetic and happy, because some people their mask is to be like very happy because they think that's what people want. And it's like people feel safe letting down their guard and just being. It's like you somehow give to other people this ability to let down their guard and relax and just be themselves and however they do feel. And yeah, I think that people feel very safe in their presence, like safe in your presence. Like this person can just like fall asleep, And so I think that there is a safety that you really provide with your energy and your way of being and the way that life has formed you. I think the last thing I want to say with this card, something is coming through about, the moon, of course, can be about the unconscious or the subconscious, but I think that you either draw things up for people, like experiencing you briefly somehow helps people dive into the unconscious or the subconscious and bring those things forward. So you have sort of a healing effect on people in that way. Like they are doing the work, I think, but like by the things that you say or like being in your energy, it helps them to unlock those things. And I also think that for some reason you're very accepting of like people's phases. So again, this just leads me to believe that people feel safe letting down their guard and being just how and who they are in the moment, not even knowing you. They can just, it's like they don't have to put on a fakeness with you. And that's pretty cool. So let's look at how you positively affect people that you do know, your loved ones, your friends, the people that you see day to day. How have you affected them and how do you affect them? Nine of Pentacles, Ace of Cups, Happily Ever After. I really do think you might find some messages in group 3 because there's some pretty similar energy here. I think that you also, like group 3, are very accepting of other people. And you also seem to have a level of understanding for what other people go through. I don't know. You seem to be really accepting of other people's faults and flaws. And which is interesting because you can feel so at fault. And like, I think, like group 3, you also help people feel very seen, understood, accepted, and loved and cared for. You are kind of like accepting of the people in your life. You're accepting of their uniqueness and their kind of odd qualities and the ways in which everyone is different. I think that you see and understand other people's differences and are very accepting of them. And so again, I think that not only strangers, but people feel like they can let down their guard and be themselves and be their true self and have their true feelings, and that they don't need to filter everything for you or that they need to be a certain way. It's like they can let their mask fall. And it's not just like toxic people that have masks. Like everybody, for the most part, has a social mask of some kind or ways that they try to show up. Not everybody, but a lot of people. But I think that people feel very safe for the most part. The people that are in your life feel very safe letting it down and being vulnerable. And I think people feel very seen by you. You seem to understand people, and especially people that you know and that you might care about. You seem to see them in a way that is sort of spiritual. It's like you see people's souls or something more than you see like them as their human form, if that makes sense. It's like you can see past their, not only their defenses and their masks and things like that, but you can see who people truly are in some way. And that is a gift for other people. I mean, not only you, but because other people will sense the fact that you can see more of the truth of them. And so that's also part of the reason that they feel safe letting their guard down. I think that you really see the positive in other people. Like, even if you see the negative too, you will always see the positive in the people that you know. And it makes people feel loved, I think. I think with this Nine of Pentacles, you're very open to giving and receiving. And specifically for some reason, giving and receiving wisdom. So you seem to have a level of wisdom, no matter how young you are, that benefits the people that you know. And so you freely give that wisdom, whether or not you realize that's what you're doing. But you also accept it from other people. So when other people have something to say, or they have something to give in that way, like a lesson that they've learned or wisdom that they have, you also are very open to accepting that. You don't have like an air to you of being like superior or knowing more than others, but you also aren't like, you have a lot to give, but you are also very open to receiving. And again, it feels like wisdom, but it feels like other things too. Like, you may give and receive gifts very well. You may give and receive, anything, honestly. And it feels like people see you as kind of down to earth in some way. Like, I don't think, for the most part, people that you know see you as like snobby. I mean, I haven't gotten any snobby energy, but I'm hearing that is like they don't feel snobbery from you. They feel like, I think that people feel like they can really talk to you, and they just feel safe kind of being themselves and in your energy. I don't know that necessarily people feel the need to tell you everything about themselves, but like, just being around you is comfortable. I think that you may have people in your life where you sort of like can have silence with one another, and that's really nice for them. Or like, if someone really needs to talk, you will talk with them or listen. Like, you can kind of like match the energy with people in a way that makes people feel relaxed, and like they don't have to try really hard, and that like they're appreciated for what they have to offer, and they are appreciated for who they are, and that you also feel appreciated in return. And so there's this nice feeling of like, with the people in your life, they not only appreciate you and know that you can sense that, but they also feel appreciated by you. There's this pleasant gratitude for the relationships that you have and how they feel with you. And there's a feeling of camaraderie, or even if there are people in your life that like, you don't understand each other on every level, it doesn't matter. I think the people in your life feel very comfortable around you. And I wouldn't be surprised if there are multiple people in your life where you're like kind of like their favorite, or they go to for advice, or somehow you are someone that they treasure and value and cherish. And even if you don't always feel that way, I think that it is very, very true. But I think that you know that. Yeah, again, I really feel that like you accept people's weirdness, uniqueness, oddness, their vulnerabilities, the ways that they are different. And so people feel like they are allowed to be different with you. And especially people that you know, because they have gotten to the point where they understand that you are very accepting. And so they aren't afraid of you saying that they're like being weird, or you judging them, or like, there's a feeling of just comfort and acceptance with you. And like knowing that like, if they, you might have someone like in your life be like, oh my God, like I did the most embarrassing thing. And they want to tell you, not only because like maybe they'll make you laugh, but maybe like you'll make them feel better about it. Or, if they're like, oh, I did the weirdest thing, like I was being so awkward and weird, and they tell you the story and you're like, that's not that weird. Like, that's really not that bad. Like, you have that ability And it's really appreciated. And I think people come to you with that. They're just like, if they felt weird, or even if they just felt like, oh, like I'm feeling weird today. My emotions feel weird. I don't know why I feel weird. My energy's off. Like, you are someone that they will come to and talk to about that, because you will understand it, and you will also probably make them feel better. And I get that energy with the last card too. Like I think people feel very strong around you. Like they sometimes feel like their best self, or they feel like that there's a strong sense of feeling like accepted and seen, and you seem to see people's positive qualities, and you acknowledge them, and you validate them, and you repeat those things back to them. You express how great they are in some way. And so you kind of build people up, and you make them feel sort of full and fulfilled and strong. And honestly, I think that's all I want to say about that. So let's get into your oracle cards and see if there's any additional information for you. Okay. Okay. So for your oracle cards, we have Dogwood Blossoms, Sacrifice, Rebirth, Connect to Source, Go Within to Discover What Needs to Be Done, Create the Shift Required to Attract What You Want. And we have the 7th chakra. The energy of the crown chakra supports our feeling of being connected to a higher power and part of a larger whole. Okay, I think I've said a few times that you feel pretty spiritually connected to me and also spiritually supported. And these talk about that. So with the crown chakra, this is the chakra that is spiritually connected. So this is being really in tune with the spiritual realm, being in tune with like spirit guides, angels, spiritual wisdom and knowledge, and feeling spiritually connected. And so whether or not you are a spiritual person, you likely, I am feeling, have a very open crown chakra, very connected to like source, to God, to spiritual energy and spiritual beings. You may or may not feel like you are like psychic and intuitive, but I think that you may have wisdom sort of downloaded into you. So you may find yourself saying things that are very wise and you're like, where did I get that? Or you may like write in a journal and later you look at what you wrote and you're like, oh my God, where did that come from? It's that kind of thing. Or you may feel that like you are able to access like a place of like peace or acceptance easily at times. Like you may not always feel like you can do that, but you seem to have a strong connection and that you can access maybe more easily than a lot of others. But also because there's so much like red and the pink energy, it's making me think root chakra, which would be the first chakra. And so I think that you seem to have a strong connection like through your energy centers and like through your body. So I think that while you are very spiritually connected, you are also very grounded. And I did feel some grounded energy. And so I think what's cool is like you might have spiritual access to spiritual knowledge that you ground into reality. So you are telling people things or you are writing things down, or like the knowledge that comes through is very applicable to the physical material world. So it's not just like airy fairy, like floaty. It's like the wisdom that you receive is actually very, very beneficial to you and others in a grounded way, if that makes sense. This doesn't have to do with anything else we've talked about. For some reason, I'm getting the sense that you are either really attractive or if you don't feel attractive, I think a lot of people find you really attractive, like physically attractive, or like your energy is super attractive. So they see you as physically attractive just because of like how you emit energy. And it's weird. There's been several times, not only in your reading, but in another one. And literally right now I'm having deja vu. So I don't know if that's a message for you, if you've been having deja vu lately, or maybe deja vu for you is an indication that you are like spiritually connected, or you are in tune with something really important, or I think that really just means you're like spiritually connected and you are like bringing wisdom down. Weird. Do you sometimes do you get kind of like scared at the things that you know? I'm getting this sense that like sometimes you might like know things that frighten you. Or you don't know why you know things. And so it's like, oh my gosh, where did that come from? I also feel that, I don't know why these messages are coming through right now, but like you, you may be prone to being like outside your body, or like feeling like, sometimes, what's the word? Like sort of like, what is it when it's like, is it like derealization or something? There's another word I'm looking for, but like you may like look in the mirror and not recognize yourself sometimes. But what I think is like, I think it might like frighten you and you worry if you're like going insane or something, if something like that happens. But what I'm getting is that it's actually just because sometimes you are so spiritually connected that it's almost like weird to be a person. And so it's like, you have these moments of like almost not recognizing yourself or something. And it causes a little bit of anxiety because your body gets kind of scared, but like you're just so spiritually in tune in some way that, you can't help but sometimes see the unreality of what's going on here. Does that make sense? I think that more than other people, you may be aware of the fact that like, it's almost like, is reality really reality? Like you seem to be sort of aware of these things, or you have sort of an existential mindset, or you ask yourself these questions, or you're kind of philosophical, that these kinds of things. Yeah. Even with this one, I'm still getting this like spiritual yet grounded. And so somehow you have these connections that go up and go down. Like they like go to the earth and they go up to the spiritual realm. So you're connected in these different ways. And I think sometimes it can be confusing in your energy, but it's really beautiful. And I think that it's really helpful for other people. And honestly, like, I really don't think that there is much else to say here well, no, there's more to say, but I think I don't want to. I don't know why. So we're going to stop. But group 4, I think that's all I've got for you then. And I'd love it if you'd let me know how it resonated, if it did. And if you enjoyed this reading, I would also love if you would like it and subscribe if you haven't already, but it's entirely up to you. And I enjoyed this. So I hope you have a wonderful week ahead. I will see you soon. Bye.